What is the relation of Mithras with precession? How did the discovery of precession change religions by Zoroastrianism? Why and when was the idea of hypercosmos invented? Mithraism. Position of the stars, zodiac in the sky were thought to be fixed. When people realized it is not fixed, they had to change theology. The change in thinking was, there must be force unknown, unseen to them which is causing this effect. David Ulansey has interpreted Mithras as a personification of the force responsible for precession. Ulansey's analysis is based on the so-called tauroctony. For the constellations pictured in the standard tauroctony, they all lay on the celestial equator as it was positioned during the epoch immediately preceding the Greco-Roman age of Aries. During that earlier age, which we may call the age of Taurus, lasting from around 4000 to 2000 BC, the celestial equator passed through Taurus the Bull, the spring equinox of that epoch, Canis Minor the Dog, Hydra the Snake, Corvus the Raven, and Scorpio the Scorpion, the autumn equinox, that is, precisely the constellations represented in the Mithraic tauroctony. Mithras himself represents the constellation Perseus, which is located directly above Taurus the Bull, the same location occupied by Mithras in the tauroctony image. Both Perseus's head while killing Medusa, and Mithras's head while killing Bull is away from the victim. The iconography also contains two torch-bearing twins, Quartz and Quartopates, framing the bull-slaying image, one holding a torch pointing up and the other a torch pointing down. These torchbearers are sometimes depicted with one of them, torch up, holding or associated with a bull and a tree with leaves, and the other, torch down, holding or associated with a scorpion and a tree with fruit. Ulansey interprets these torchbearers as representing the spring equinox, torch up, tree with leaves, bull, and the autumn equinox, torch down, tree with fruit, scorpion, in Taurus and Scorpius respectively, which is where the equinoxes were located during the preceding age of Taurus symbolized in the tauroctony as a whole. From this, Ulansey concludes that Mithraic iconography was an astronomical code whose secret was the existence of a new cosmic divinity, unknown to those outside the cult, whose fundamental attribute was his ability to shift the structure of the entire cosmos, and thereby to control the astrological forces believed at that time to determine human existence. That gave him the power to grant his devotees success during life and salvation after death, as secret teaching, a safe journey through the planetary spheres, and a subsequent immortal existence in the sphere of the stars. This killing of a bull is the same Moses smashing golden calf. Since Moses was closing the old Taurus era and opening Aries era, he got angry at the people who are not aware that God in the sky has changed. In Mithras iconography we see two suns, one being Helios the sun god, who is always distinguished from Mithras in the iconography, and the other being Mithras in his role as the unconquered sun. The hypercosmic sun of the Platonists is located beyond the sphere of the fixed stars, in Plato's Hyperuranios topos. The Hyperuranian or topos Hyperuranios is a term used by Plato to mean a perfect realm of forms. Platonic realm is a place in heaven where all ideas of real things are collected together. Everything we experience in our lives is merely a copy of the perfect model that exists in the Hyperuranian. It is described as higher than the gods since their divinity depended on the knowledge of the Hyperuranian beings. Cosmogony, the scientific study of the origin of the universe. The word comes from the Greek words kosmos, world, and gonos, creation. Cosmology, the study of the structure and changes of the universe in the present. Cosmology is thus limited to the physical level of existence, while cosmogony also refers to its theological metaphysical dimension. Plato's world is much more complete and complex compared to any branch of science or any religious idea. So since all heavens shifted, it must be done by someone out of cosmos and out of any reality we see. That is why Mithras is hypercosmic. Zoroastrianism also emerged from understanding of precession. When some magi understood the precession, They realized all their equal gods in the pantheon were shifted by a force. Obviously this force must be out of the sphere of all seen things, because they are not aware of this force and they don't see a new thing in the sky. This brings the idea of a deity over deities. But since bad and good things were happening because of stars, zodiac, there must be dualist powers doing this. And suddenly two nearly equal deities emerge over destiny, that are capable of turning the wheel of fortune, fate. Ahura Mazda and Ahriman. Then all gods before become angels and demons and placed under these two new phenomenal deities. When dualism emerges in theology, suddenly a monotheism emerges. So came the movement of Zervanism, which claimed that Zervan was the supreme leader over these two. So we saw how an astronomical observation changed the theology forever. From here started the so-called dualist, monotheist, triad religions. But even in monotheist ones, there is Satan versus God duality, like in Christianity and Islam. Also they have the angels, who talk and discuss with Supreme God like an old pantheon of gods. So even deep inside monotheistic religions, you can see the polytheist background, and the effect of precession.